What's the most unexplainable thing that's ever happened to you? I bummed a cigarette off someone, noticed it was the same brand that Kurt Vonnegut smoked, and thought, ha, Vonnegut's choice. Me out loud. Weird, don't see this brand often. Him. Yeah, Vonnegut's choice. Vonnegut had not been brought up at all, or even alluded to. He said the exact same thing I thought back to me. I still think about it to this day. For about a week before my apartment burned down, I dreamed every night about various houses burning down. One time, I woke up to find my phone missing. Searched everywhere, even had my roommate call it, and we heard it ringing inside the couch. The weird part? I hadn't even sat on the couch the night before. To this day, I'm convinced my phone just went on its own little adventure. Lol. A beautiful woman dated me for a year. I once heard my mom call my name from the kitchen, but when I walked in, she wasn't there. Then I remembered she had left for work hours ago, and the house was completely empty. Creepy AF. I had a dream about something ancient, and it happened exactly as I dreamed 4 days later. One morning, early, I was awoken by the sound of glass breaking. It sounded like it was coming from the bathroom right down the hall, and I thought, oh no, the kids knocked a glass off the bathroom counter and it's going to be a mess. First thing in the morning. Ugh. I waited for the inevitable moo-woom, but then I realized it was completely quiet. No one else was up yet, so maybe the cat knocked it off. I got up a few minutes later and looked, and to my surprise there was no glass in the bathroom or anywhere else I could find. I thought maybe it was a dream, but it also woke my husband. I couldn't find anything broken anywhere. This was years ago, and I never found out what that sound was. Never found anything broken anywhere. It was so weird. One time my mom stayed overnight in my new apartment. As we went to bed, she in my living room on the couch, and I in my bed in another room. The moment I would fall asleep, I heard her terrible scream from the living room. I got up and ran to her to see if she's okay, but she was just lying in her bed and looked at me. She asked what's going on. Well, I think it was in my head. Later on, a few weeks later maybe, she told me that she has terrible depression and thoughts of suicide, so she has to go to the hospital. I think something told me that night that she was in this dark place. Never heard that scream ever again. I met the man of my dreams because he randomly stopped me on a street, asked for directions, and somehow, in that brief moment, it felt like our paths were meant to cross. One night I ate sushi that had those tiny little fish eggs on each roll. The next morning I made myself some Greek yogurt and found 2 of those eggs in my yogurt. I had used completely different silverware, and none of the containers overlap. I woke up one morning with dried blood under my nose and on my pillow. It felt like I got punched square in the nose. I lived alone, and there was absolutely no reason for me to have had facial trauma while I was sleeping. Birth. So I work in a school, and I was cleaning one day, as I usually do when a professor left a math equation on the hallway board for the students to solve. Anyway, I did it. I solved it, then before I knew it the professor wanted to personally work with me. I was with my friend at my place. We looked at the clock, and we were pretty sure it was 3 p.m. Half an hour later we looked again, and it was 1 p.m. We couldn't say a word in shock. To this day we couldn't explain what happened. I dreamed of a plane crashing on a Scottish village about 2 days before Lockerbie. A woman I had never seen before came into the bar and walked straight up to me. She said, "Bill, you're drunk again." Then she walked right past me. I was stunned for about 15 seconds, then I searched the bar for her. I could not find her. I never saw her again. I sobered 8 years later. When I was like 12, I was lying in bed, and my windows lit up entirely with a lime green light. Like someone had a lime green floodlight outside my bedroom for 15 seconds and then gone. My wife said yes to marrying me. Still can't explain it. When I first started smoking, I bought a cheap yellow lighter and kept it in the desk drawer in my bedroom. The next day, I went for a smoke, opened the drawer, and there were 2 of those little yellow lighters, completely identical. I freaked out and told my housemates, who seemed as puzzled as I was. Logically, it was most likely one of them pulling a prank on me, but they would have to have been very, very good actors. Well, the next time I had a smoke, I put one of the little yellow lighters in my desk drawer and the other in my pocket, and I locked my room on the way out because I was going away for the weekend. Came back, unlocked my door, went to put the lighter ID taken with me back in my drawer, and what do you know? There were 2 of them already in there. There was definitely only one there when I left. It wasn't a very full drawer, and it would have been easy to see another one, and nobody else had a key to my room. It never happened again, but 2 of the 3 lighters stopped working on the same day. I lost the third. Years ago I broke a plate while doing dishes. It went everywhere in the kitchen and somehow halfway down the hallway outside the kitchen. All the cupboard doors were closed, so I of course didn't even think to check for plate pieces in cupboards. 2 weeks later my mother made pancakes and my sister bit into one and then pulled a piece of this stupid plate out of her mouth. Mum hadn't seen it anywhere. It wasn't in the bowl, or in the flour, or in anything she had used. It wasn't in the frying pan. It wasn't anywhere, and then poof, it was in a pancake. Someone explain this to me. XD.